everyone. Welcome to Live Interactive English. I'm Mike.
I'm Rainbow.
And if there is one article you guys pay attention to this month, this would be the one.
Right.
Not paying attention to this article would be doing what this article is trying to get you to not do. It would be a bad decision to not listen to an article about avoiding bad decisions.
Oh, yeah.
You see how that all works together? That's what we're looking at. How to avoid making bad decisions, basically getting yourself in trouble because you didn't do something, you weren't careful, you didn't do your research.
So think back to the time when you were a kid.
Okay.
What was one of those bad decisions that you made but had so much fun doing it?
Oh, I don't know if I had fun doing it, but picking up a hot iron with two hands.
Oh,
That was a bad
ouch.
decision.
Oh,
Yeah.
like that?
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
I tried to pick it
gosh.
up with the handle. That was the good
okay,
decision.
okay.
But then it was really heavy. I mean, I was like 4 or
You okay?
5. And then I put my other
Oh
hand
my gosh.
on the
Oh
hot
my
part.
gosh.
I burned my hand
Oh my
really
gosh.
bad. And screamed.
Did it leave a
and
scar?
cried. No.
Oh
it
my
just kinda
gosh.
got big. So, picking up hot things while touching the hot thing, bad decision. Now that's a pretty
Definitely.
simple one to avoid.
Yeah.
There are others in life that might be more complicated, an easier mistake to make, or an easier bad decision to make. So we're going to be looking at some of these and hopefully learning some tips to prepare ourselves and to avoid making these bad decisions. If we could only make good decisions for the rest of our lives, imagine how much easier life would be.
That's true.
Probably impossible, but we can try to get there. So let's check it out.
Every day we make decisions. Some are small, while others are big. Yet many of us lack the ability to see our options clearly. When we're unable to fully evaluate our options, we can end up making the wrong choices. Luckily, there is a technique we can use to make decisions, and it's known as inversion. To use this method, you need to think a problem through backward, not just forward.
All right, how to avoid making bad decisions. Let's get into it. Every day we make decisions. This is true. Every day you have to choose things. You have to decide things. Decide would be the verb form of decision. Every day you have choices and options, and sometimes you make the right choice, sometimes you make the wrong, and often it doesn't really matter. Some are small, while others are big. Small decisions, what should I have for lunch today? Big decisions, should I marry this person? Should I take that job?
Should I buy the house?
Move to this country? Should I buy that house? Those are big decisions.
Big.
Yet, many of us lack the ability to see our options clearly. We make up our mind based on our feeling or our heart or what other people want us to do.
Yeah, our parents.
Things like that. We don't clearly look at our choices and think about them before deciding. When it comes to choosing what's for lunch, it doesn't really matter.
No.
But when it's a big decision, it can really matter. When we're unable to fully evaluate or judge our options, we can end up making the wrong choices. Absolutely. Which is kind of why, no one would say, hey, I'm going to go to a restaurant and close my eyes and just point at something, because you don't know what you're going to get. That would be a bad way to make a decision.
Luckily, there is a technique we can use to make decisions, and it's known as inversion.
Inversion?
Ooh, very exciting. Okay, so a technique is a skill that you can repeat and remember and practice, and it works. It's a skill that solves a problem, or it's a skill that when you learn, it can make your life a bit easier or make a decision-making process a bit quicker. Ms. White has a special technique to help her students read difficult words. It means she has a special way, a unique way, something that can be practiced to make life a little bit easier.
To use this method, you need to think a problem through backward.
Oh, interesting.
Not just forward.
Interesting.
All right, that kind of makes sense. Inversion makes me think of like turning things upside down,
That's right.
If you invert something, you kind of put the bottom on the top, right? So inversion, thinking of things backward instead of forward. Normally, we think of things forward. I will do this, and then this will happen, and this is how it will end up.
Yeah.
If you do it backward, you go from the result, and then you work your way back to the first decision.
Yeah.
This is a method. Method and technique, that word that Rainbow just explained, are very, very similar.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a technique that has us doing things kind of backward. If you do something backward or backwards, sometimes people put an S on it. That means basically going from the end to the beginning instead of the beginning to the end. If you watch a movie backward, it'll be very hard to understand what people are saying because they'll be talking backward, which is weird. And it will start with the ending of the movie, the big explosion, the hero fighting the bad guy.
Backwards.
And then it will go all the way back to the beginning. That's exactly right. Yes, if you're driving backward, that means the car is going this way, and you have to look in a mirror. The mirror helps you see backward, see behind your back or the way you were just going, the way you came from. For example, the car started to roll backward down the hill.
Oh, that's very dangerous.
That is very dangerous. It's much harder to drive and steer a car backward because, of course, everything is opposite. So this is an interesting technique. I can't say I understand how it works. So let's come back after the break to find out.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。今天的课程是关于如何避免做出错误决定。我们每天都在做决定，那有些是无关紧要的决定，有些则是重要决定。当我们没办法看清选择，没办法充分评估那些选择时，最终可能就会做出错误决定了。那课文有提供一种技法来帮助我们做决定，叫做逆向思维，也就是倒过来思考问题。我们先看单字 technique，technique 表示技法、技能或是技巧。那么 backward 表示反向的、向后的，在这边当副词。那补充单字 evaluate， 它表示评估、评价，是动词。有一个意思相近的字，我们可以学起来，叫做 assess， 它是动词，可以表达评估、评定，或是表达对什么来进行估价。再看到 inversion 它表示反向、倒置或是倒装法。那它的动词是 invert，invert 可以表达使什么反向、倒置的意思。好，那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。这边我们来学习 end up， 它表示最终怎么样，结果变成怎么样。之后呢，要加上现在分词 VING 或是形容词或是介系词、片语等等的补语来说明这个状态或结果。我们看两个例句 ：They ended up having instant noodles for dinner。结果他们最后是吃泡面当晚餐。那这边我们就是接了现在分词 having。Daniel is afraid that he might end up alone. Daniel 担心自己最后可能会孤零零一个人。这边我们是接形容词 alone 来当补语，接回课文中。
Let's say your goal is simply to be happy. Thinking forward, you decide to take actions that will lead to your idea of happiness. This might mean getting a degree in a particular area that offers high-paying jobs. Now, looking at the problem by inversion, think about the things that would make you unhappy. Perhaps unhappiness to you means feeling constantly stressed, yet stress often goes hand in hand with high-paying jobs. So maybe this type of job wouldn't actually be good for you, and inversion has helped you see this. Therefore, you have avoided making a bad decision. Of course, using inversion won't always lead to the best choices. Still, it can help stop you from making the wrong ones.
All right, so far we've learned that the key to making good decisions is a technique called inversion, which is about making the decision backwards. So going from what you want to happen, and that will lead you back to the correct decision to make now. Sounds good as a method, but how does this actually work?
Okay, let's say your goal is simply to be happy.
I want
have
to
that
be
goal.
happy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good goal.
Okay, so when we have a goal, we set it up. This is what I want. That's my goal that I'm going to go for. It could be a dream. It could be a picture in your head. It could be something you want to reach. That you want to call a goal. And it has to be specific, like being happy is a feeling. That's my goal. That means I will work hard to get there. My goal for today is to make at least 5 people laugh. So I can count these people, right? Because I'm going to wait for them to laugh after I've said something, and I know I will have reached my goal. So this is something that can be measured by how you feel or by what you see, and you are going to take an action to move toward your goal.
Okay, so it's your target, it's your objective, it's what you are trying to do. If you do that, you feel you have succeeded, you have reached your goal. And of course, that's what we call the big net in football or in soccer, where you put the ball. That's what you're trying to do. It's the goal. Your goal is to get a goal. Thinking forward, it says, so this is how you become happy. This would be the normal way of saying, I want to be happy. What can I do? Thinking forward, you decide to take actions that will lead to your idea of happiness.
Right.
If I do this and this and this, I will become happy. I will reach my goal.
That makes sense.
This might mean getting a degree in a particular area that offers high-paying jobs. I want to have money. Money will make me happy. I will become a lawyer, a doctor, you know, get some kind of degree or education. I'll get that job. I'll get the money. I'll be a happy person. Okay, all right, that's pretty normal.
There's another way. Now, looking at the problem by inversion, think about the things that would make you unhappy. So that's the opposite of what I'm trying to go for, right? But I'm thinking backwards.
Right.
Perhaps unhappiness to you means feeling constantly stressed, yet stress often goes hand in hand with high-paying jobs. Now that makes a lot of sense. If I think being a doctor makes me happy, I would have to put up with feeling stressed every single day, and I would be constantly stressed, and that would actually make me unhappy. So maybe constantly being stressed is not the answer. So maybe I don't want to be a doctor.
Okay, so if your goal is to be happy, then being a stressed out rich doctor would not equal being happy.
Not at all, because
No.
I'm constantly stressed.
Right, very interesting. Constantly means all the time.
Oh, every day.
All right, so even if you're at home on the weekend, you're still thinking about your job as a doctor.
Yeah,
you're still
looking at
thinking
your
about
phone,
your patients,
calling
all the
them.
meetings you have, all the papers you need to write, the research you need to do, the young doctors you have to work with and assess. All of this stuff
so
means
much
you
work.
can't relax because it's constantly happening. It's happening all the time without stopping or a break or anything. Angela is constantly checking her phone for new messages. When she's talking with her friend, she's looking at her phone. When she's sitting in the toilet, she's looking at her phone. When she's at the dentist's office, she's always constantly looking, even when she's driving her car. It's dangerous.
That's
Stop
a
it.
lot of stress.
Yes, she must be stressed.
She must be stressed. So stressed means you're feeling pressure in your body. You are not feeling relaxed. You are feeling like somebody is pushing you and you have to do things. So you're going to be clenching your fists or clenching your teeth or having really hard shoulders like
upset
rocks.
stomach.
Upset stomach. You're going to be upset easily,
sleep well.
angry easily, not sleeping. These are signs of stress. Your hair's falling out. Your hair's turning white. You are always looking pale. The list goes on. Brian was feeling stressed before his driving test. So obviously, if there's a big thing happening, you feel that pressure in your body. So we understand that being stressed all the time is not good for you.
Absolutely. So you might have the high-paying job, but now you're a stressed doctor. You're not a happy person.
Nope.
So maybe this type of job, being that doctor or that, rich lawyer, but who has constant stress, wouldn't actually be good for you.
Right.
And inversion has helped you see this. All right, so it's helped you sort of have a bit more of a clear idea of what you're doing and what you're trying to do before you take action. Therefore, you have avoided making a bad decision. You might have to give up that dream of being a doctor, but do you really want that dream of being a doctor? There's an expression in English, be careful what you wish for, because it might come true.
Might come true.
Exactly. So well done. You got the job as the doctor, the lawyer, making tons of money, but you're an unhappy person. This is not a good result.
Now, the article continues to say, of course, using inversion won't always lead to the best choices. Maybe you're not going to have that dream job that you think, or other people aren't going to say good job to you. Still, it can help stop you from making the wrong ones. At least your life won't be so bad when you find out, oh no, I have a really, really high-paying job, but I don't like my life. So you have to avoid that in your life. Now, I'm going to ask you a what do you think question.
Oh no, I'm stressed.
Our article.
Okay.
Which job do you think would make you happy and why?
Good question. I don't know. I think my job makes me happy. I work with interesting people. I read interesting articles. I get to talk to folks on camera. Every day is a little bit different.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I kind of like that. And, maybe when I was young, I wanted to be the businessman or the lawyer. But yeah, a lot of stress comes with that, along with the pay. And so those are definitely things to think about. Just doing something because you think it will make you happy or because other people tell you it will make you happy might not always work out the way you intended or the way you hoped. So it's a good idea to be careful with decisions, and doing the inversion technique might be a really interesting experiment.
I think so. You should definitely try it.
Yeah, it's definitely worth trying out. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you soon. Take care of yourselves. Try not to be too stressed, and make some good decisions. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
好，那我们来看看如何采用逆向思维。假设你的目标是要快乐，那你就决定采取能够带来快乐的行动。也许是在一个有提供高薪工作的特定领域，你想要获得一个学位。那么现在呢，如果是透过逆向方式来看这个问题，想想可能会让你不快乐的事。那假设对你来说，不快乐意味着不断感受到压力，可是压力又经常伴随着高薪工作，所以也许这种类型的工作其实不适合你耶。逆向思考可以帮助你看出这一点，也就能避免做出不好的决定了。单字 goal 它表示目标、目的，那么 constantly 这个副词表示持续不断地，或者是表达时常地、始终。那么 stressed 它是形容紧张的、焦虑不安的。Rainbow 老师在描述紧张时的肢体动作，他有提到可能是握紧拳头啊，紧咬着牙齿啊。那老师用到 clench 这个动词 ，clench，clench 它表示捏紧、紧握或是咬紧的意思。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来学习 go hand in hand， 表示密切相关、相伴而生。这个 hand in hand 原本是指手牵手，常常用来表示两件事情伴随着发生、密切相关或是相辅相成。那么用法就是 A go hand in hand with B， 或者是 A and B go hand in hand。举例来说 ，Health often goes hand in hand with happiness。也可以说 health and happiness often go hand in hand。健康与快乐常息息相关。好，那以上今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Every day we make decisions. Some are small, while others are big. Yet many of us lack the ability to see our options clearly. When we're unable to fully evaluate our options, we can end up making the wrong choices. Luckily, there is a technique we can use to make decisions, and it's known as inversion. To use this method, you need to think a problem through backward, not just forward. Let's say your goal is simply to be happy. Thinking forward, you decide to take actions that will lead to your idea of happiness. This might mean getting a degree in a particular area that offers high-paying jobs. Now, looking at the problem by inversion, think about the things that would make you unhappy. Perhaps unhappiness to you means feeling constantly stressed, yet stress often goes hand in hand with high-paying jobs. So maybe this type of job wouldn't actually be good for you, and inversion has helped you see this. Therefore, you have avoided making a bad decision. Of course, using inversion won't always lead to the best choices. Still, it can help stop you from making the wrong ones.
Hey everybody! Today we are going to be visiting the Ningxia Night Market. Being Taiwanese, you probably take night markets for granted. But did you know that in other countries, like where I'm from, we don't have night markets? I know. Can you believe that? Can you imagine living in a place where there are no night markets? Once you've been to a night market, oh man, you cannot go back. It's one of my favorite things about living in Taiwan, and so much delicious food, so much to do. Man, I think I'm going to go to a night market tonight. But first, let's look at today's lesson. Ningxia Night Market is one of Taipei's oldest night markets. When you go to this night market, they have all kinds of incredible foods like oyster omelets, stinky tofu, chicken rice, and even taro egg yolk balls. Some of these foods have even made it onto the Michelin's Bib Gourmand list. Ningxia Night Market tries hard to keep clean and make sure to reduce waste. So they have plenty of places to recycle, and not only that, it is the first non-smoking night market in Taiwan. Most vendors have menus in different languages, so it's super convenient for foreign tourists to come and visit. So definitely visit Ningxia Night Market for a taste of Taiwanese flavor. This is really a great night market for foreign tourists. I know whenever I have my friends visiting me from the US, I always bring them there because a lot of the menus are in English and it's just very convenient for foreigners. So if you have any foreign friends, make sure you take them to the Ningxia Night Market. We'll see you next time.